Hi guys, I'm Mochi. Welcome back to my creative world. So last time we talked about Christmas decorations in Minecraft, we decorated all these little houses here on the street with some Christmas trees and a snowman and that kind of thing. I'll link that up at the top. But we didn't really talk about Christmas lights much. We'd use some end rods on the tree. We made these little light up yard decorations. But I was thinking I wanted some Christmas lights that would be more in scale. I wanted some that would be the right size, and I wanted some that would blink. So let's go ahead and see what I came up with. So I thought about it, and I thought what already has a light on it that you could make blink, and that would be about the right size, and I came up with the idea of observers. They got the little light on the back, and that light will blink. Now I'm not very good at redstone. I'll go ahead and be honest with you on that one. So first thing I did was simple. It doesn't seem to be working right now very well. I think it might be because the chickens have escaped a bit. This is just a little simple chicken randomizer thing. Every time a chicken walks on a plate, it makes the observers go. So this will give you random blinking. And if you had a few more chickens in there, yeah, there we go. Works a bit better when the chickens are moving around. But I didn't think that was all that great. So this is the next thing I did. And here we can get them to blink in sections. And it works pretty well. The only problem I had with this one is that it's too long. So I have a minecart just going across, and every time it hits one of these detectors or activator rails, then it sets off our observers. So we get blinking in little groups as it goes past. Now the problem was this is too long and it won't go the whole distance on 2 powered rails. It would get stuck. So we had to put another one in the middle. And that made it go the whole length, but this will never light up because the powered rails don't activate it. So we have one that just doesn't light up, a dead bulb in the string, as it were. Okay, so this one solves our length problem where we couldn't have it long enough. So you can see we have a long string here, and all of them light up. But there's a problem with this one too, because see, here we've used a furnace minecart, and it pushes that other one around, and you can see them all activating. And that gives us sort of a chasing light sequence here. What is the problem with this one? Well, you have to fuel the furnace minecart. So it's not the sort of thing you can put up and just leave. You have to put more coal into it. Now, I'm sure people who are better than I am at redstone could set something up so that it refuels the minecart and keeps it going. But I didn't know how to do that. And so I just moved on to another solution. And then this is just a separate thing I tried where I put some glass in front, thinking maybe we could get it to look a little bit like it had different colors. But the lights are too dim, and it really doesn't work. So you're really just stuck with all red lights on this. And this, again, is just a string here. But this is the original one without the redstone in the middle. And I guess I must have made this just a little bit smaller because it seems to work. So this is what I came up with. And here we can see it, on a house in the Christmas setting. And I kind of think it works here. I mean, you're going to see the observers. Maybe if you had something that blended just a little bit better, it would be less noticeable. But it is, you'll see, a string of lights, and they're chasing each other. And we got, of course, our garland, and we got some little Christmas trees and some little candy canes and the snow on the yard. And I think all together, you definitely get the feeling of Christmas. Now this one we did a slightly different way. And you can see we still have our row of observers, and we still have the detector rails and the activator rails, but we've done the entire back part of the rails in the powered rails. And we had to use the normal rails, of course, on this turns because you can't do the powered rails on turns. So it goes back there and it picks up a lot of speed, makes its way back here, and then back to the powered rails to get speed all over again. All right, so that is basically where I ended up with the idea of Christmas lights that were to scale and blinked using the observer. So that's where I stopped at the observers. But then I thought I could try some other Christmas lights that wouldn't be the same. They won't necessarily be in scale, they won't necessarily blink, but there are other options for if you want some Christmas lights. Okay, so I'm just built the next ones on parts of roofs, basically. The idea being that you could put them into your own builds. Here we have some end rods behind leaves to provide light, and we've got a solid block in between them, so we don't have too much light. Otherwise, it doesn't quite make the glass shine the same way. And we have the leaves, which kind of distract from the end rods and also make it so it's only in those little places. And then we just put some glass panes in front, and they glow. And we've got the chains between to make it a string of lights. And that you can put anywhere that you have that kind of space. And I think it's kind of pretty. They're like colored icicle lights. Okay, so for this one, we're doing the colored icicle lights again, but this time we put sea lanterns up in the ceiling and attach the glass to them. And then you got to have them obscured in the roof a bit so you don't necessarily see so much of the sea lanterns. And you get the glowing in the glass from the light as it kind of light pipes it down. Okay, so this one we have blinking lights, but they're big. That's not necessarily a bad thing. It all depends on your build and what you're going for. So we've used full glass blocks here, and we've got the chains between them, which makes them a string of lights. And in the ceiling, you'll see we have the redstone lamps. Now, I told you I'm not very good at redstone, and for this one, I had to get some help from Ryan, or our Ryan. I'll link to him. And so here you can see the redstone that makes them blink. Now, in a build, obviously, you'd want to close this in, but I figured I'd leave it open so I could show you. And so that's how we're making our redstone lamps blink. Now, you probably wouldn't have as much light bleeding through if you closed it in, but you are definitely going to have some light bleeding through in places other than in your glass blocks. But still, I think it looks pretty cool. And finally, if all else is failing you and you really want some kind of Christmas lights on your house and you don't have the space for the various methods I've showed you, or you just don't like them, there is always Icicle Lights. And of course, these are just end rods. And I put the chains between them to try and make them like a string. Now, sadly, they don't attach all the way to the end rods or the glass panes, but I think they do it enough to carry across the idea. The other option, of course, is to do something like this and have some big glowing lawn decorations, kind of like the inflatables that a lot of people have in their yard, or like the clear plastic with the lights inside, like you see, like the presents and reindeers and things like that all the time. I like to build these things a lot. I think they're a lot of fun. I might do some more of them. We'll see. All right, guys. I know it was a short one this week, but that is what I was working on here in Creative. And I hope that's useful to some of you, or at least that you were amused by my inability to redstone. All right, guys. Well, I'm going to go ahead and end it here for today. I hope you guys had fun. I know I did. I hope you're all having a great holiday season, and I'll see you next time. Bye!